back to another fan reading on r/CREEPCAST. Today we'll be looking at a story called "I Found Bunker 99." It's written by I can't talk right now. It's written by somebody named Henry is Batman. So I did delve into a little bit of his profile or her. I don't know their profile, and they have written other stories for Art No Sleep and other stories on the subreddit, so if you want to check them out, I'll leave the link in the description below. Other links in the description below are the opening I use belonging to Tierdalin, I don't know how to say their name, I'm sorry. And what was it? And the Discord I've created. So if you want to just join, chat with a couple other writers I've read the stories for, come on in. You're all welcome. So anyway, that's honestly all I got right now, so let's head into Bunker 99. I started working at good lord, I'm already off to a great start. I started working at my hometown's local grocery store in late July of this year. Compared to my last two jobs as a student worker at my college's dining facility and as a table busser, food server for a steakhouse, is a lot better than both of them. And it even improves on the issues I had with those old jobs. At my first job, I got paid way too infrequently and never enough. I used to joke that I got paid the bare minimum wage because I was only paid $9.50 an hour, and I could only work 10 hours a week due to my class schedule and tolerance for stress. The other issue is that there were hardly enough workers. This wasn't an exact issue at my second job at the steakhouse. It was a small place that was only open past 5 until around 9. So the amount of customers there wouldn't be too overwhelming as long as there wasn't some big party going on. I get paid by the hour and by tips, and even Thursday I'd be paid between $90 to over $200. But that was usually due to how many shifts that I was given that week. Some weeks I was given no shifts, but at the grocery store I'd be paid $15 an hour, have multiple shifts that were at least 4 hours, and rarely are there too little amount of workers for closing. And I really like working at the grocery store compared to my last two jobs. It's a 25 minute walk from and to my mom's place where I live, so I'm getting exercise. I feel like I'm being really helpful when customers ask me for where certain things are, like where the eggs are. Some tasks take up almost the entire shift, so I'm not feeling too overwhelmed by the chores I need to accomplish until we're closing. And this week, it was more of the same. I work at the meat department of the store, and yesterday, on Thursday the 28th, as I'm writing this while processing it, I was restocking packaged products in the packaged meat section. This section is where we keep our hot dogs, breakfast meat, lunch meat, and other meats, and a few other types of products like mac and cheese or mashed potatoes. From the wall of cardboard boxes all placed on a green U-boat that I pulled from the cooler, I would open a box's plastic seal with my box cutter and then find the place where the product needed to go. Occasionally, the incorrect products are placed on the U-boat, and on Thursday it was a package of pepperoni that I had never seen sold before that I looked out of place. Oh, excuse me, sorry. The meat was in a thin black package with a plastic shine to it. The thick circle slices of the pink pepperoni had these tiny red and green specks inside, which I assume was similar to what the Oliver leaf bologna was that we sell. Which I assume was similar to what the Oliver leaf bologna that we sell. Found a little error. In fact, I think it was the same company that made this type of pepperoni? Not sure. My memory gets hazy with those types of details. Took out my Zebra device from my back pocket. A Zebra, by the way, is a brand of handheld computer devices that we use to keep track of products and complete other tasks. It's really useful to have around. I scanned its barcode so that I could see if this product even belonged to this section. We do store pepperoni, but usually not in the glass door for refrigerators. Yeah, I'm just as confused as to why pepperoni doesn't need refrigeration. And this product looked like it required refrigeration. And when the screen for the product appeared, it said it belonged to Bunker 999. Now, the meat department has only 4 bunkers, which we use to store extra products that we didn't have space for on the walls or items that are on sale. Seeing that number was both confusing and funny. So did my coworker, Steven, who then smiled and said, "Bunker 999? There's no such thing." I later found one of my department managers, Joss, and asked him about it. He frowned, seeing the bunker number. Likely just means that we can't put the item in any space we can find a space for it. So it's not a case of us receiving a product meant for a different store? I was only asking because last month my older co-worker George discovered a package of Mayer sausage rolls. It was a funny situation as it didn't think that the truck company that gave us our food would send us products from a totally different store. Even funnier that George happily took the two of them home. Joss raised his shoulders in a shrug. Could be. Never seen a zebra mention Bunker 999 before. Joss let me be, and I did as I was asked to do. When I got back to my main task of unloading the U-boat, I eventually discovered yet another product for Bunker 999. This time it was a box full of bratwurst, smoked cheddar, bratwurst by Fredericks. For some reason, I recalled how if you tap a bunker's number, it would give you a map of directions on where you could find that bunker. I didn't use it very often as there was enough labels inside the store to help me find products for customers. I know my memory isn't perfect, but it was still great at remembering the kind of detail. I wish my memory failed me because of what happened after I tapped on the bunker's number. The map directed me into the back area of a store where only employees could go. Products stuffed almost everywhere except the path set between the two yellow lines. This was meant for the fire exit, which I followed for as long as the zebra's route allowed me to. And the zebra had led me to a fire exit. First one that had caught my eye when I started working here. What had caught my eye in particular was the pale yellow masking tape that spelled, "Do not open." One of the department managers had explained to me that the dramatic sign was there because if that door opened, the alarm would go off. My curiosity should have ended there if the zebra hadn't been leading to this door, and one other thing, I knew what should be behind this door. This fire exit was inside where we receive our product shipments from the trucks. Also where we threw bags of garbage in the trash chute, which was only a couple of feet right off the exit door. But to the exit door's left was one of those metal doors that pull up. I've even seen what's on the other side of that door. It's a concrete walkway with a metal fence preventing someone from falling into the small pond that's just behind the store. So the zebra pointing me to the fire exit was even more bizarre. As why would the doors just point me to the outside? I don't blame myself for impulsively entering. I just wish I hadn't. I am mush-mouthing this whole story. I don't know if because I'm reading too fast or if I'm just illiterate. Alright. Behind that fire exit door, which I immediately shut behind me, was a long concrete hallway into shadows. I didn't hear any noise ahead of me or behind me, just to be sure my ears weren't tricking me. Pulled open the door again to see if the fire alarm hadn't rang. It was quiet aside from the loud hum of some machine in the background. Closed the door and looked at the zebra for both the time and what direction I needed to go. It was only 5:01 p.m. Just a minute and over an hour had begun working. The direction the zebra pointing me in was forward. I really should have thought to go to my department manager and show him this. I don't know why I didn't. I just felt compelled to go down there. I'm blaming it on my fascination with adventure. It got me lost in a forest while hiking in the wilderness once. It was going to drag me through what I can only describe as bizarre. Once everything became pitch black in my vision and the difference between having my eye open and closed was minimal. A pair of glass doors slid open at the store's entrance. I took a few steps forward, hearing the doors close behind me as I took in what the many glass panes showed me. Outside, there was nothing. Absolute nothing. No cars, no parking lot, no street lamps, no trees, grass, or other stores that should neighbor my workplace. I should have been hit with some sense of horror, but I was rather awestruck by this bizarreness. Then a familiar Happy Tune song began to play, and my amazed look turned into one of disgust. It was the stupid earworm song that I hated to hear the most whenever I was working. I want candy. Oh, gosh. I want candy. Yeah, I hate that song too. That's not the original version of the song. It was the cover that played in the teaser trailer for Illumination's Hot movie. Did you have to bring that up? I cringe every time I think of that movie, especially the scene where E.B. and Cyclops' actor His name escapes me at the moment. We're put into the awkward situation of having to sing that song. I hate it, and that should have been the key indicator that I needed to leave. And I could have. I would later figure out the doors can open and close regardless if you're entering or exiting. But we'll get to that part later. Right now, I had entered the lifeless store. No one was there. It was dead quiet aside from that song playing. It was weird not hearing the subtle buzz of cartwheels moving over the smooth floor of the grocery store, or someone's kid blabbering loudly some distance away. Even weirder to hardly see anyone. All the self-checkout computers were still on, even the computers in the regular checkout aisle. Occasionally I'd spot a random cart full of assortment of items. First one I found was near the bakery, which was between the meat department and the back of the store of the deli, which was closer to the front. Almost said dealy. The cart had a variety of items, but mostly toys, bags of candy, and decorative materials if a person were still driving this cart. I'd make the assumption that they were preparing for a birthday party. I'm sorry. The stupid I Want Candy song is stuck in my head. I promise you, I'm not making fun of this person's story. It just keeps replaying in my head. And I got a stupid giggle fit. Alright, where the flip was I? Alright, toys of candy, or toys, bags of candy, and yeah, there we go, decorative materials. If a person were still driving this cart, I'd make the assumption that they were preparing for a birthday party. The next cart I saw I didn't get a good look at. It was in the alcohol section, and I think I saw 6 packs of beer in the otherwise empty cart. There was a few more carts as I wandered the place, but one that stuck out to me was one cart that had fallen over. Its contents were basic groceries like bread, yogurt, orange juice, and other things, but they were all on the floor. Nobody was there, so who knocked all this cart down? The zebra let out a notification whistle, and when I pulled it from my back pocket to examine the device, I tapped the bell symbol to look at the notification. Except, nothing was there. I frowned at the oddity and closed out of the notifications. Turning to the map, I was being led into the same direction I had followed just before coming to this version of the grocery store. And I followed that path again, found myself in that dark hallway again, and found myself in the store's entrance again. Except this time, a different song was playing. The song wasn't quite as annoying as the first one. Issue was I didn't know the name of it. I mainly listened to the movie soundtracks. Think of Oppenheimer or Godzilla -1. All I could tell was that it was some sort of upbeat punk rock music, but I recognized it. It played during store hours. Sorry. So he's like in this infinite loop of grocery stores talking about Hop, Oppenheimer, and Godzilla -1. Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying the concept. It's just funny bringing up like modern movies and that awful Hop movie. Alright, let's see. Alright, here we go. When I walked into the store itself, things were slightly different. I think the color of everything was just slightly more saturated. Like there was this orange that I saw. Rather than it being the exact color of orange that oranges are, it was a little more red than what you would expect. Sorry. Orange, 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 Godzilla, Godzilla, orange, orange, Oppenheimer, Easter Bunny. Stupid words keep playing in my head. Where was I? I have lost my place. Alright, even my pale skin tone seemed a little more saturated, like I had gotten a mix of sunburn and a tan. Everything under the light seemed a little more saturated. Other than that, not much else had changed except for the carts. There were more of them. 2 more of them were pushed over. Some of the grocery items were torn open in strange ways. A red and white can of whipped cream had a chunk of its side ripped off. All the cream had been drained from it, but the substance was nowhere near the scene. Something had likely drank it from the torn can. A jug of chocolate milk was torn up the same way, with another similar sized chunk of its side torn up. Some droplets of chocolate milk were found near the scene. All of that was near the dairy aisle, and the next item I found was a torn case of skin on bone and chicken legs. Except funnily, the chicken meat had no skin or bones, just torn up meat. I nervously laughed to myself before moving on to where the zebra wanted me to go. God, I should have left by that point. For the next hour and a half, I kept wandering through the same simple maze that was slowly changing. It took me 5 minutes to get from the front of the store to the back without wandering, maybe 10 if I wandered. Then I must have gone through the store at most a dozen times. The only consistent variables of each version of that store was that a new song would play on a loop. Gosh, I don't know why I keep burping. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Oh, alright, I think it's out of my system. Carts would be randomly set about, some of which were disturbed by something. The lighting would be slightly changed, and the one variable that I hadn't noticed until now was that the days had reversed. I only noticed it in the now pink light of the 12th or 13th store. When I looked at the screen display in the service area of the department, this was where we sold fish, chicken, cow, and pig meat to customers. The screen display would show the weight and price of whatever they were asking for. Could have also tell the date and time. And while the time was 1.5 hour past when I started looking for Bunker 999, the date wasn't correct. It was August the 16th, 2025, 12 days before what should have been August the 28th. It seems that for every time I passed through the exit door, crossed through the hallway, and entered a new grocery store, time would have reverted past one day. I don't know why I kept going forwards. The intrigue, I guess? The mystery I was digging into was fascinating. A fire exit door that has a hallway with no light, that leads to a lifeless grocery store. There's another fire exit door that leads to a similar place, and I'm being guided by a zebra device. It made me wonder what would it be like if there was a fire and everyone passed through the door. I giggled a little at the idea as it kept returning to my mind. Pure panic of a co-worker escaping their blazing demise, only to enter both pure confusion and awe and entering a grocery store very akin to their old workplace, yet very different at the same time. 2 more hours would pass with little change. I didn't take as much time to explore this time, so I think I entered my 36th store when something new happened. The differences were less subtle this time around. Shopping carts were everywhere, they were all tipped over with their content on the ground. A sweetly foul smell sucker punched my nostrils and immediately made me gag. I have a particular sensitive sense of smell. Sensitive senses that are sensitively senses of senses. I'm sorry. Shit. I shouldn't be making fun of you. I'm sorry. I'm being mean. So this was a new kind of help for me. And looking back, I'm surprised that I didn't gag at the smell of the chicken meat robbed of its bone and skin, as it seemed to have been out for some time. Should have turned back, but when I looked to the exit, I saw someone who was also wearing the same blue grocery store apron. Had on a run through the door and entered... Hold on. So, wearing the blue grocery store apron, I had run through the door I entered through just prior. I didn't even hear him walk past me, and I was confused as to why he was running into the first place. Was he scared from seeing me, or because of something else chasing him? Well, I would learn the reason, but only because fear saved my ass. Somehow I continued forward. I'm wondering if I just felt compelled to do so because of what I'd find luring me with the zebra. The music eventually changed from something you'd listen to on the radio to classical music. I heard Ava Maria playing through the speakers as I walked into the 60th store. The audio's quality was in poor shape, as it sounded so grainy. The static warped the song, continuing just as the smell got worse. I don't know why I kept going on. Things seemed to get worse with each store I walked into. God, I should have left by the 99th store. You've walked through 99 stores. That's like, let's see, it said it took him like 10 minutes. It's like, what, a little over an hour he's been exploring this place? I don't know, I'm bad with math. Please correct me in the comments. I'm retarded. There were these flies, these giant black flies. They were so fat and slow-moving, yet somehow fast enough to avoid my hand swatting them. They appeared as black dots in the super bright light at the store. They were feeding on the sickeningly sweat-smelling meat and fruit that had fully decayed in the store. They even took small bites out of me, and their quick nibbles surprisingly stung. But they mostly avoided me. I wasn't dead to them yet. I ate bugs and all those creepy crawly things. I can tolerate spiders, though. Thank God this place needs spiders. A whole army of them. Big ones. Big spiders to eat the big flies. It'd be good to have some big spiders, or maybe some hungry frogs. Frogs would have been good, too. They love eating bugs, especially the big ones. Any insectivore that likes flies would have been great. Their thick buzzing clouded the already shitty quality of the classical song that was playing. Nothing but buzzing could be heard in the back area near the fire exit. Just because in the back area near the exit is where we also stored extra products. Ones that didn't need to be in a fridge. They had all rotten, and the flies craved their rot. I didn't like how their tiny, dirty bodies flicked against my skin, occasionally taking small, painful nibbles from their itched like hell. Finally found safety behind the fire exit hallway. Took a moment to just lean against the door and take a breather. You should listen to your conscience and go back, someone had said to me. Just ahead of me, mostly cast in shadows, was a man about a few inches taller than me. Mind you, I'm 6 feet tall, so he was about 6'3" maybe? I could see his face, but I could tell he was older, based on the weight of his voice. There's nothing down here there worth finding, he said to me. You know you want to go back. You don't know that, I lied. I was too unnerved by what he said to admit he's right. The stranger said nothing more and took one step forward. I could see him more clearly with the help of the light that shined through the door cracks. He was covered head to toe in bruises and markings. His blue eyes shimmered in the light, not like pools of water, but like cobalt dust sprinkled on a steel sheet. It was strange to look at as he passed by me and walked into the 99th store. I wonder if he was even human to begin with. I mean, he did look human physically, sounded like one too, but was he human? I entered the 100th store, and it was like I had entered the very first grocery store. Not the one I used the fire exit door to get to, but the one I walked to every day. The only difference is that the classical music was still playing. There was an abandoned carts at random places. There were no people. Other than that, everything was fine. When I entered the 101st store, everything looked a little more saturated, but a bit darker too. Like the lights had been dimmed slightly, and I got this feeling that from the shadows, the eyes of something were attached to me. There was a familiar pattern with these stores. With every new store I entered, a new song would play. The lighting and colors would be adjusted, abandoned carts would decorate the place with some tipped over and eaten from. Day would go back, A day would go back, and at the near end, a population of mutant flies would grow. By the 100th store, everything would reset to relative normalness. Minus the day going backward thing. Till I entered the next store, where the pattern repeats itself, but now there was 3 new variables that I was noticing. With every new 100 stores, it would be just a little darker than before. And with every 100 stores, I'd see more people running for the exit out of here, some encouraging me to escape. And of course, there was the third variable. As with the next 100 stores, the feeling of being watched would become much more apparent. I should have listened to those workers. I closed the door to the 199th store and walked down to the black hallway, entering the 900th store. It was almost pitch black. Something blinded me with their flashlight. Go back home, Henry, someone told me. Well, everyone is still there. Almost asked how she... Oh, it was okay. Alright, hold on, let me redo that. Go back home, Henry. Well, everyone is still there. I almost asked how she knew my name, but then I remembered that I was still wearing my work apron, which had my name tag pinned on it. My eyes adjusted to the light, and I saw a woman past her 50s sitting in one of those rolling chairs we have at the main office. She looked tired, really tired, and she had the same look in her eyes as the one from the 100th store's hallways did. The iris of her eyes looked like cobalt dust had sprinkled over a still sheet. I looked at her apron, and her name tag read the name, Gabriella. Look, Gabriella, I came all this way. I'm not going back. Look at your device. What's today's date? What's today's date? It says, what's today's date, is it? What's today's date? I pulled out my phone, but she shook her head no. Your zebra. Take out your zebra. I pulled my zebra from my back pocket and looked at it. It was 2026. The rules of time had changed again from this point on. Rather than one day backward, it's 365 days forward. That change is permanent until you leave here. What do you mean? I could take a guess at what she meant. I just didn't want to believe the implication. Check your phone. I pulled it from my phone pocket. I pulled it from my front pocket and pressed its button. I read the date on my screen. It matched the one on my zebra. 1 year push forward by the store was 1 year push forward outside the store. I really should have left the store at that point. I don't know why I didn't run out the door. Every part of me was screaming and I had to go back. Everyone I cared about would be missing me. Not only that, but I would have missed out on so much. I was planning on seeing a friend that I hadn't talked to in a while. Another friend and I were going to watch the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie out this year. Oh no. Oh no. Five Nights at Bunkers 99. It's kind of, listen, I get what he's trying to go for. It's just comical that he's just adding so many, like, common movie references. My stepdad and I were going to practice driving so that I can finally get my driver's license. And yet, for some reason, I said, what if I continued forward and found Bunker 999? You don't want to do that. And you know that you don't. What will I find? Nothing of value. But nothing. Go back, young man. Live a life to be lived well. Don't waste time here. There is no secret to be found. Only guilt to be given to you. I'd somehow convinced myself that I was a lie. Against Gabrielle's warnings, I marched off into my own hell. When I entered the 901st store, something was different. I knew it was dead quiet. There were no carts with groceries abandoned on the sale floor, and I knew something was wrong with the lights. All the bulbs were pitch black, and yet the place was fully lit. It was like the light was coming from the wrong places. What should be the darkest area of a shelf was instead the brightest part. Outside, instead of a black abyss, it was white, pure white, like snow reflecting sunlight. It almost hurt to stare at it for too long. I could feel my mind breaking down as I passed through the next 99 exit doors. I felt compelled to go forward, but the knowledge that years were going to pass outside the store were tearing me up. I wanted to go back. No, I wanted to run back. Run back and never look back. Maybe run just fast enough to spend time with the people I care about and have fun with them. I wanted to go home and play video games, eat junk food, write, watch films, and not be stuck here wasting my time with walking to the next exit. Yet I couldn't stop. Couldn't stop walking down the hallways. Through the exit door, and into the hallway again. I think at some point I had started crying. With each new store, things grew more bizarre. I could hear the slightest of movements and the strange shadows that were projected from the light bulbs. Oh yeah, the light bulbs create shadows now. It was like the rule of, in the absence of light, there was only darkness. It was switched, and the darkness was slowly prevailing over the stores. It was impossible. All this was impossible, and that fascination had me by the throat. Maybe that's just what I wanted to believe. Because I wasn't alone in my travels. Hold on. Oh man. Excuse me. Ooh. The feeling that I was being watched by someone was true. It only revealed itself after I opened the door to the 999th store. The place was totally different. There was no entrance with glass walls. There were no meant to show the oh my gosh. There was no entrance with glass walls that were meant to show the exterior. There were no carts, no lights emitting shadow, and no products in the dozens upon dozens of bunkers that were now in front of me. Spread 6 feet apart were these massive empty rectangular black metal and plastic bunkers with shadow light bulbs casting darkness over them. The first row had 9 bunkers, as did the second, the third, and the fourth, and so on until the 111th row. All of them were illuminated by the inverted glow of the glossy floor. I looked at my zebra, and it pointed forward before finally losing all of its battery. The walk was long. My eyes played tricks on me as I stared at the many abysses that surrounded me. I could swear that I saw woeful faces, desperate ones. I was screaming in my head to turn back now before something happens. Looking back, I don't know why I was really panicking. It should have occurred to me that it was too late. After another set of hours walking to the 111th set of 9 bunkers, I stared at the bunker on the left. Each of them had been labeled with a number, and 999 was the 999th bunker. Really? Really? I didn't think the 999th bunker would be the 999th bunker. From the abyss of the darkness projected over it, something long emerged. It was like my hand, only thinner, paler, with long, strange fingers. As those fingers tried to wrap themselves around me, I finally did what I should have done at the first bunker. Run. I ran away as fast as I could. faster than I ever ran before. I did not care if my zebra fell out of my pocket, and I did not care if I escaped and died from the beast that tried to capture me. I did not care if I had lost time with my friends and family. I burst out of the door and crashed into someone entering. I hit the ground hard, feeling the friction of concrete scrape off skin. I was surprised at the sensation. As I regathered my senses, I realized that I was outside the store, but it wasn't the grocery store. I remembered. This logo was green rather than blue, and the clothes of the person I had bumped into were totally different. After I apologized, I asked him the oddest question he must have heard that day. "Can you tell me what today's date?" "Are you alright?" His accent sounded almost like a regular American. But something was off about it. "Yeah, just can you tell me the date?" "August 30th. "What year?" 3024. 999 years after 2025. I had traveled 999 years after 2025, and I had lost all time with my friends, family, and any future that I would want with them. I was an alien. I was in an alien future now, which makes you wonder how you're reading this, right? Well, time fluctuates in what Gabriella calls the 999 stores. And because we got Wi-Fi at the real store, we got it here too. Cosmic Wi-Fi, as a little joke. So as I'm uploading this post here, I hope that it at least reaches my friends and family. I just want to say to them that I'm so sorry. I wish we got to spend more time together. It's all I ever wanted with any of you. Time that we have now and forever lost with each other. I know you guys will be able to move on without me, so please don't come looking for me. I've got food and shelter in 999 stores. Entertainment, too. It won't be as fun without any of you here. Just please don't come looking for me. Please don't find me. Don't make many mistakes of coming here. There is nothing to find here except lost time. And the same goes for any future worker at a grocery store, because it doesn't just apply to the one that I work at. Every store has 999th Booker. It's the same one. So listen to me when I say don't fucking go and find the 999th Booker. And if you do and meet me, I will drag you out myself. Wow, alright. I think that was the longest story I've read. My throat's a little dry. Oh, that's better. I did get a little confused as to what was going on kind of in the middle of it, but I did enjoy the concept. It was very cool. How each story you passed through, some odd years would pass by, and eventually, I guess your body just acclimates to, the passage of time as you walk through these, very uncanny, out-of-place stores. It was a very cool concept. Not really to my taste, but I hope y'all enjoyed it, so. But, like I said in the beginning of the video, all the links will be in the descriptions. Please support the writer. Only encourage them. Give them, good critique, alright? So, again, thank you for the story. Henry is Batman, right? Yeah, that's gotta be it. But, again, y'all have a great night, okay? Later!